Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining today's webinar on the subject of replatforming web marketing systems in the age of the multi-channel consumer. My name is Simon Morris, and I'm Director of European Marketing within the Digital Marketing Business Unit here at Adobe. Now, that possibly needs some explanation in itself. In the past year, Adobe has aligned itself behind two massive opportunities: digital marketing and digital media. In digital media, we're leading the way in how digital experiences are created, managed, distributed, and increasingly monetized in a multi-screen world. Our customers in this sector include traditional creators, developers, and digital media professionals. In digital marketing, our strategy is very simple: to provide the most robust suite of solutions for marketers, advertisers, and publishers to deliver an integrated and personalized digital marketing experience to their customers. We've built and continue to develop a powerful single platform to power digital marketing across social, mobile, video, and other emerging channels, and we're seeing this come to life with the dialogue we have with our customers. The ways in which an individual interacts with a brand has evolved dramatically over the last few years. This evolution is forcing organizations to transform their online marketing strategies in order to deliver the relevant content on the right device at the right time. This can't be achieved without evaluating and re-establishing the underlying technical infrastructure of an organization's online business. Over the course of the next 45 minutes or so, we will dive into this subject and share some of the best secrets of how to deliver customer experiences which can be measured, analyzed, and personalized in order to optimize against your brand and demand objectives. Our guest speaker is Fahim Salim, Web Development Manager at Investec. Investec are a specialist bank and asset management provider that targets clients with a range of financial products and services across 14 countries. In addition to managing their websites, they deliver large volumes of engaging content across multiple channels like tablets, mobiles, and social sites. Fahim has global technical responsibility of Investec's online marketing assets, such as Investec.com, and delivering the group-wide mobile web strategy. Fahim will share with you how Investec have leveraged technology from Adobe to replatform their infrastructure, and as a result of doing so, have increased website traffic and conversions and driven a 200% increase in mobile traffic. Before I hand over to Fahim, I would like to firstly introduce Manny Vagela, Solution Consulting Director at Adobe, who will talk us through some of the challenges organizations face in trying to ensure customers enjoy a consistent online experience regardless of their platform or device. As Head of Solution Consulting within Adobe's Digital Marketing Business Unit, Manny has been evangelizing the value of web experience management solutions. He joined Adobe as part of the Day Software acquisition and has over 10 years' experience in content management technologies. He works closely with Adobe clients to understand their multi-channel strategies and working with the product management teams to help drive innovative solutions. Prior to joining Adobe, Manny was Head of Professional Services at Nokia Interactive and also held key positions at Interwoven and JDA. Before I hand over to our speakers, I'd like to inform you all that this session is being recorded and will be available for download shortly after the event. We'll be having a short Q&A session at the end of today's webinar, so please feel free to submit questions at any time during the webinar using the Q&A box on your screen. I'd now pass over to Manny.
Thank you, Simon. And everyone, welcome to the Adobe e-seminar today. Today we will be covering how the Adobe Web Experience Management Platform provides an agile platform for delivering marketing initiatives in a multi-channel environment. Adobe is changing the world through digital experiences. We are virtually everywhere you look, from TV, movies, magazines, websites, advertising. Over the past 30 years, we have enabled businesses to engage consumers as technology and the web has evolved. We continue to transform our company just as our customers are transforming to keep pace with the enormous opportunities in front of them. How do we do that? So at Adobe, we address these fundamental customer challenges by addressing the entire life cycle of digital content, from its creation all the way through how it is consumed and monetized. Adobe is the only company that addresses the entire content lifecycle. Through Make, where we provide innovative solutions to create compelling, rich, beautiful and useful content. For example, the magazine Vanity Fair uses our creative solutions to develop high-impact content delivered in print, online and on tablets. Through to managing the solutions for seamless delivery and consumer access to content across media and screens. Measuring the solutions that enable rich understanding of the customer ROI across marketing channels. And to monetize using that data with solutions that efficiently target and deliver content to achieve business results. What does that mean to a CMO? So the evolution of the CMO role has taken on a different persona. It is no longer just about reach and an awareness that a CMO is in charge of. The CMOs now are accountable to the CEO and the board. The marketing activities now need to show clear revenue and profit growth. And to achieve that, he has to overcome challenges in the new age where the current infrastructures are not agile or modern enough to help him deliver on that revenue and profit targets, putting even more pressure on his marketeers to deliver on those different campaigns. However, the marketing objectives have not changed. The brand, the demand, the reach, they're still key initiatives within a marketing organization. However, the key driver and objective is still increasing customer acquisition. And this is the key for the CMO to achieve his revenue and growth targets for his CEO and his board. Let's not forget the challenges that a CIO also has. CIOs now want cloud-ready platforms, standards compliant. They want 24/7 mission-critical web operations. At the same time, the flexibility to scale their operations without huge infrastructure costs and disruptions. The evolving channels such as mobile to drive new revenue, new retention, using the data from your online and your mobile interactions are giving the insight and the analytics that marketeers need to help drive new marketing initiatives. The Adobe Digital Marketing Suite addresses our customers' most complex digital marketing challenges. This includes how to effectively deliver the right online experience to the right person at the right time, how best to spend online ad funds to drive best acquisition traffic, how to better monetize audiences to highest possible ad rates. The Adobe Digital Marketing Suite provides that optimization, the engagement, the multi-channel campaign execution through the content and data managed within the Adobe digital platform. So the dawn of the new digital age is presenting greater demands on new digital channels, and how to achieve the brand, the demand and the reach aspects of your marketing strategies. How does do you need to be able to scale quickly? The cloud infrastructure is a key part of that marketing strategy now. The analytics, how do you need to understand and tie the measurement faster to action? How is the user behavior on your website, on your tablet, on your mobile device, on your social media channels? Bringing all of that data into a marketing platform that will allow marketeers to engage better with their audience. How to increase conversion through targeted personalization, through integration with CRM systems to provide better personalization and again drive more traffic and conversion. Mobile, how do you extend the reach? to your mobile channel? How do you utilize the content that you're creating to drive through all your web properties as well as mobile? And the new social. Do you need your own customer community? How do you understand what your community is telling you to better target and reach out to them with your new strategies? The brand is giving you the reputation, the search volumes, the reviews, the ratings, the blogs. The demand is all about the acquisition, the number of leads, the marketing cost per lead, your conversion ratio. And the reach is really giving you the visitor traffic, the ranking in search terms, the demographics, and bringing all of these into a single unified platform is all about how to empower your business and marketeers to engage in a much more effective and agile manner. Adobe CQ is core to that unified platform for managing those web experiences. It provides marketeers with full control of creating, personalizing, measuring, and optimizing that experience, providing IT with the agility to react to those and rapidly develop the actual engagements. Let us see how some of the solutions that the Adobe CQ platform provides. The web content management unleashes the creativity for your online marketing team. It provides them with a user experience that promotes rapid publishing, optimization, and rollout of the new initiatives, whether they be main website or microsites, launch sites, can be done very, very easily, very, very quickly through in-place content authoring, drag and drop page assembly mechanisms. The global brand marketing can provide the ability to actually protect your brand, the consistency, the corporate campaigns, the messaging across all of the different channels, as well as global web presence. The digital asset management empowers the organization with a simple but yet powerful platform to monetize your core brand assets, to meet the time to market goals, controlling your assets where they appear and when they appear. With full integration with our digital media suite of applications and creative suite, your businesses now are not siloed. They are becoming one, where you actually are encouraging your creative professionals to develop content and the content lifecycle through those creative tools with direct integration to the digital asset management to allow now your web publishers to utilize that content through to delivery and optimizing that content. Mobile, very big from where people are interacting most with organizations, and you will hear more from our customer today, Investec, about their mobile strategies. But how do you utilize your web experience and have the same platform be able to create that optimized experience for multiple devices? How do you actually be able to reduce the cost by not having to build separate mobile devices, but using that single unified platform to create content and the presentation layers for multiple channels, be it mobile, for your smartphones, for your feature phones, for your touchscreen phones? Provide your business users with the ability to actually preview that on any device before they actually deliver that. It maintains consistency across all of your web channels and properties, whether they be mobile or web. Social communities is providing a way of actually interacting with your communities. How does the community engage with you? Through your Twitter channels, through your Facebook. The social communities provides us with a social login that utilizes the user profile model for open social adopted by Google. It's providing you with an ability to create a Facebook or Twitter login option on owned digital properties. That you can personalize the user experience based on profile information. Examples of social plugins that are available with the Adobe platform include things such as Facebook activity feed, comments, Facebook like buttons, Twitter follow buttons, Twitter share buttons. These are all included as part of the social communities. So you're bringing the whole social media, social community integration, the blogging, the forums, the moderation capability, all within that one single integrated platform. Marketing campaign management. Multiple marketing campaigns include campaign newsletters, using the same technologies, the same platform and the same user interaction that a business user and a marketeer has. You can very easily create those email newsletter campaigns, be able to target them to your leads, be able to understand the click rates, the open rates, the bounce rates, so you can actually, as a marketeer, understand how those different campaigns are behaving and the success rates of those campaigns, extending your reach through that personalizing. So being able to personalize those email campaigns are delivered through the same unified platform. The new world of commerce. How do we actually now take what was a commodity content management platform but provide an e-commerce, fully integrated commerce experience? The experience that is driven through how your user is behaving on your site, through their follows, through their preferences. Are they interested in mountain bikes or snowboarding? And all of these are integrated through our client context framework and integration into a out-of-the-box hybrid e-commerce engine. At the same time, providing standard APIs and components that allow integration to any other commerce systems rapidly. Creating an experience is part of the platform, but to understand how your consumers are interacting with your channels, not just on the web, but across mobile, across forums, blog, social media. These are all key things that the full integration with Site Catalyst provides the marketeers with rich content and actionable analytics and behavior of the users on your channels. Adobe Test and Target integration, clearly providing you with an ability to actually test and optimize your campaigns. As you can see, you can actually dynamically change how that user will be targeted and how effective those different targeted content can be tested and optimized. Search and promote. How do you actually use search and targeting and filtering to optimize how your visitors browse, find, compare, search for relevant products, and provide recommendation based on their previous histories or their selection of their products? So these are all standard integrated functionality within that single unified platform. Dynamic imaging. How do you provide a visually rich experience for that user? Using the Adobe Scene 7, you can provide the ability to actually dynamically drive videos, selection of your digital asset that is driven through CQ DAM and Scene 7 to render that content, to change colors and provide a very rich experience across all of those touch points through visual merchandising. Adobe Web Experience Management has been recognized as the leader by Forrester Wave. It's providing a modern unified platform which is helping marketing to achieve their goals in having a platform that is easy to use, to faster time to engage and publish through multiple channels at the same time, encouraging IT to adopt an open architecture and a platform that is on demand, scalable, at the same time agile enough to deliver on all those marketing capabilities. With that, I will hand over to Simon.
Thank you very much, Manny. I think we've now been talking through some of the challenges that businesses face when trying to ensure customers enjoy that consistent online experience, regardless of their platform or device. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Fahim Salim, Web Development Manager at Investec. Working in partnership with Adobe, Fahim has recently undertaken a major enterprise replatforming project for both desktop and mobile. Prior to working at Investec, Fahim was at Orange, the mobile network operator, where he led the Orange Developer Community Portal. I'd like to now pass over to Fahim. Thank you.
Thank you, Simon. Hello, everyone. Let me just share my screen so you guys can see my slides. Okay, thank you very much, Simon, for that introduction. As Simon mentioned, essentially I work in a global online marketing team here at Investec. My responsibility here are the mobile and web touchpoints for our clients, including investec.com, country sites, and also other microsites for campaign initiatives. What I would like to talk about today is basically our journey in the last few years at Investec from an online perspective, and how using some of the Adobe's technologies we've been able to improve our customer experience and obviously help business at the same time. For those of you who are not familiar with Investec, a little bit of background. And this is our headquarters in Johannesburg, South Africa. This is our building. But Investec is a specialist bank and asset manager. It was founded in 1974 in South Africa and has now grown into an international network of various businesses, again specializing in banking, asset management and wealth management as well. We provide a diverse range of products and services to a niche client base, namely high net worth individuals in our key markets, which are South Africa, UK and Australia, but we also have offices peppered throughout the world as well, in over 14 countries. Again, our clients are based all over the world. They do like to travel a lot. Investec employs over 6,000 people globally, so it is a meaty business. In terms of who our clients are, I mentioned that they're high net worth individuals. They are really pressed for time, and they really expect first class service, whether that's face to face, online, or any of our touch points. And most of them, which I'll go into a little bit deeper, they carry multiple devices, laptops, iPhones, iPads and things like that. And they expect a fantastic user experiences across those. What we have done here at Investec to help us always have our clients or have our users at the focus of anything we do, we've created personas, and different personas really help us identify what these users are trying to do on our websites. And this example is Bob, who's a high net worth individual. He likes to travel, and I'm sure a lot of you in your organizations may have developed personas, but if not, I would very much recommend it doing so, because you'll be amazed that having a persona in your web team where a workshop is happening is to always refer to the customer. In terms of where we get where our customers are, or where we get our traffic from the rest of the world, a lot of our traffic, as you expect, is the dark shaded blue. Over 50% of our traffic is from the South African region. Around 25% of the traffic is from the UK, and the rest, I would say, it's rest of the world. So I would say that our challenge is truly global, and it's important for us to deliver an online experience that is first class, and that is fast, and it meets our users' expectations. And our clients are very good at letting us know when their expectations are not met. So we've got some difficult users to please. It's all about, as Manny also mentioned in his presentation, it's all about providing the right content in the right place for the right device. And what we do to help us with this is we geo-target our users, and depending on what IP they come from, and we send them to the correct website, and we also do device detection on top of that, which I'll go into a little bit later. Just in terms of speed of delivery, what we have found with our users, that different regions of the countries or different areas of the continent, their expectations for web experience or delivery load times are very different. For example, In the UK, a website should load sub 3 seconds, and that would be a normal experience. Whereas in South Africa, in the African region, where the infrastructure may not be as built as the European, any website that loads within sub 8 seconds or 10 seconds is considered normal. Obviously, a lot of the infrastructure runs over the mobile network as well. But regardless of this, we try and deliver our website or our user experiences within a sub 3 second loading time. Let me take you back in terms of how our website and online presence really started. What you see here on the screen is a screenshot of maybe what our website looked like about 5 years ago. It was quite hard to navigate. To update any content was quite difficult, and because it was basically running out of South Africa, it was quite slow in different parts of the world. In terms of, so we looked at this and we said, like, what are our key challenges in order to meet the first-class experience that our users expect from us? So from an online perspective, these are loading speeds. They must be very quick. We need to make sure that we deliver not only global content, but deliver content at a local, customized content as well. From an authoring perspective within the organization, we need to be able to update the content quickly and easily. And also what's quite important from a marketing perspective is we need to be able to react to market needs quickly. If something's happened or we launch a new product, we need to have a website up and running very quickly. So what we did with these key challenges is we developed our, I would say, phase 2 of our website using this particular technology stack. This has taken us a few years to really master and really tweak in order for it to meet our needs. For example, we use Akamai, our content delivery network, CDN, in order to make sure that all of our content is very close to the end user. And Akamai allows you to do that by caching your content locally on their network of servers. So this has helped us meet that loading speed challenge. We've, of course, as Simon and Manny mentioned, we've partnered with Adobe using their CQ CMS and also a couple of other sets in order to help us with the content management system, content authoring and publication. We reviewed quite a lot of CMSs when we partnered with Adobe, and we found that CQ allowed us a little bit more flexibility, allowed us to really represent our brand online and for us to tweak it in any shape we need to. And under that, physically, we use the Verizon technology to store our websites and where our staging and development environments are. So that's I would say is what our technology stack looks like. And what we've been able to do with this is basically launch various websites that are that look different, are for different purposes. So this slide is just a quick example of what you see on the top left is our Investec.com, our main country site, so a very heavy-hitting website here. On the right, on the top, we also help our colleagues out in Australia for their online banking front door. In the middle is our Kensington Mortgages business arm that allows users to be able to get mortgages and loans from. So as you can see, a completely different look and feel, but still we do serve that here. And then at the bottom is a product campaign website that we helped to launch last year. So as you can see, this is all running on the same platform, and completely different look and feel, completely different KPIs. But what we've been able to do is actually bring it all together under a single platform. We have over 100 authors, different types of authors updating websites 24/7 in different geographies. We also partner with Cognified, who help us with the development side of things. Now, this was truly good in terms of having a single technology stack that we can launch websites and all that good stuff. What we were finding is that on the same platform there was a need to create new websites with different look and feels, and each and every time we did that, what we were finding is that it was costing us an arm and a leg to do it each time. We were building things from scratch again, and there was no real reuse of code or reuse of technology, but all the different websites, there were just different instances of it, and they had their own sort of user experiences behind that. What we tried to do, we had an opportunity to refresh our brand last year from an online perspective, and we took the opportunity to not only rebrand and basically give our websites a makeover, but actually upgrade our CMS to the latest version at that time, which is CQ version 5.4. And then we took a really radical approach, and we said, you know what, let's not create another CMS, but what we really want is a digital marketing platform. Now, what we mean by this term digital marketing platform is some of you may have heard of the Zen Garden approach. What this really means in a nutshell is that you have core functionality and behavior at the bottom, and you basically apply a different style, a different theme, but again, it uses the same core and the same infrastructure. So you have the ability to quickly launch websites very quickly without building them from scratch again. So there is slight overhead, but not that much, and we're now able to launch a completely different looking website in a matter of days, which is fantastic for us marketeers. The way we've been able to achieve this is that CQ, the Adobe CQ has this concept of components, and a component is basically the building blocks of a web page. And at the bottom you can see a component could be rich text, a gallery, a divider, images, image gallery, video gallery, you name it. But every website, if you look at every website, they will be constructed of these fundamental blocks. As an example there, you have a website, we have our normal website investec.com with a video, which I've highlighted, and on the right is our Investec Rugby Academy website, and that also has a video. So the underlying component and functionality is the same, it's just the positioning and look and feel is very different. What we've been able to do is really, with this digital marketing platform on CQ, is to enhance the functionalities of these different components and basically give it a different styling layer. And with this, what we've been able to achieve is using the same components and launch a magnitude of websites that share the same functionality, but they completely look and behave different. And again, this has enabled us to spawn new websites in a matter of days. It's quite ironic in the business where before any lead time in order to build a website, in order to design it and develop it, could take anything from a couple of months to a year. That lead time is now a matter of weeks for us. And what we're finding is that business units are now, we create the website for them, and now the challenge for them is to actually populate it. So, how it should be. So the business units are now having to concentrate more on what they're going to put on the website, rather than spend a lot of time and effort actually building the thing. So that's been quite a key win for us. And the benefit of this for us, even more so, is that every time a new functionality we need on one of the components or anything like that, we have this mantra saying that it has to benefit the platform as a whole. So if a business unit wants to build a new image gallery with new functions, for example, we will try and build it in a flexible way so that everyone else benefits as well, which has been fantastic. So that's a little bit about the desktop side of things. I'm also keen to maybe share with you guys some of the multi-channel challenges that we've been facing at Investec, and how we've tried to overcome them with some of the online marketing technologies. So what we are finding is that our clients are more and more consuming our information, not only through our website. This is something that we're trying to work hard internally to get out into our other colleagues, to say that, you know, your website is not the be-all or end-all. Our clients are coming in from different social channels, video, YouTube, mobile, tablets, and to be honest, they would like to consume content where they're comfortable and whatever channels they want, really. So we need to make sure that our content is readily available to them. That is, again, right content, right at the right time for the right device. So this is one of the challenges that we are facing at the moment. with this in mind, obviously mobile plays a very key challenge. What we're finding is that maybe a couple of years ago, when we analyzed our stats, what we found was that a lot of users are coming onto our website, but the bounce rate was 100%. They weren't going past the home page. And when we looked at these statistics and analyzed it, that our website users were coming onto our website using mobile devices, but they weren't going anywhere. And then what we found was that the user experience is not great. The website didn't render well. You had to pinch and zoom to get from A to B, and the content wasn't really suited for mobile devices. And it's an interesting stat. We saw some research, and this stat might be higher now, is that 44% of mobile users now blame the brand rather than technology when their mobile expectations are not met. So whereas before you would say, I think it's my mobile, I think I don't have the latest phone, etc. A lot of other industries are pushing the boundaries of mobile. So now consumers and users know that actually device or technology is not the platform. I just expect that your website, your brand should just leverage everything that's available to me and give me a great experience. Now, on this particular graph where you see not so much activity initially and then there is a spike. Now, I'll talk about why we got the spike by launching a very basic interim site. But when we were looking at mobile, nobody at Investec had really explored this area in detail before. So how do you convince an organization to say, mobile's quite important, so we need to go into it? So what we tried to do was to start experimenting with mobile. We weren't sure how our users would react or how users would use this. So in order to introduce a mobile approach, what we tried to do was develop very small websites for different events. So as an example, we sponsored Goodwood a couple of years ago, and we created a very simple flat HTML website for all of our hospitality guests. And what these guests could find on this website is, typical information about what the event is about, maps on how to get there, FAQs, and just general information. We put this out there, very relatively low cost, and just to get some feedback about how people are using it. What we found is that we can actually replicate this model and do it for our other events. So we used to sponsor the rugby, and again we launched a mobile rugby hospitality mobile site with a QR code on the invitation packs, and again giving them simple information about how to get there, what the weather is going to be like on the day, FAQs, maps and all that. Again, this was not done at a CMS level. These were flat HTML websites, relatively low cost, and we were basically churning them out very, very, very simply. There's no real cost to us there. What this allowed us to do was to really, from an Investec perspective, really learn what it means for our brand to be in the mobile space. So how our users are interacting with the mobile sites, how best to reflect our logos, our brand guidelines in a small screen. And it was a fantastic way to sell mobile internally within the organization. As soon as people started to see these websites, everyone just woke up saying, hey, I think we should also do a mobile. And the other key learnings that we've had from a technical perspective is the challenges of device fragmentation. So we experimented, we learned a bit, and then we decided, how do we take it further? These flat HTML sites are quite hard to maintain, and you just use it for a campaign site and they go down again. So we decided, let's maybe create a small CMS version out of this and take it a step further. Before we did that, what we found was the challenge of device fragmentation. Now, any of you guys that have tried to develop for mobile or tablets, you know that there are just thousands and thousands of devices out there. They have different screen sizes, different JavaScript capabilities, different orientation. Some of them are touch, some of them are keyboard, some of them are joystick driven. And to be honest, it's not practical to design a web page for each and every type of phone. One way to really alleviate this problem is to really put your devices, segment your devices and put them into different buckets. And we worked quite hard with Adobe to come up with this sort of device segmentation, where you try and create a template or an experience based on the type of phone and the capabilities of the phone. So the way we segment our devices is touch phones, and basically this is high-end touch phones, certain screen size with good JavaScript capability. Then there's smartphones, which is actually keyboard based, but some JavaScript functionality support, and also basic phones or featurette phones that everything else goes in that bucket. This helps us to really design and tailor the experiences for these different channels. And then what we really came up with was we launched what we call, I would say, an intro mobile site last year. Very lightweight. It was a subset of our website. It was a custom CMS, and we did very high-level research to really understand if a user were to come to our mobile site, what would they do? And the common user journeys typically are finding an office, finding a contact, share price information, latest news, and obviously what Investec products and services are. And when we launched this, basically our mobile traffic just quadrupled. Bounce rate reduced. More and more people were navigating through the web page. They were filling in forms, calling us, and we were able to track that. And again, this was a really fantastic way to sell this internally. And then when it was time for us last year to re-platform to CQ 5.4, we said, you know what, mobile is going to be at the heart of our strategy, and we came up with, well, we didn't come up with it, but there is this mobile first methodology of, you design your content, you do your development of mobile first, and then you try and do others. Because with mobile, it really restricts you in terms of, not restricts you, but it focuses what your user needs are more so than desktop. And when you do that right for mobile or on a smaller screen, it's much easier to adapt that methodology for desktops and other channels. So it really helped us focus and bring our personas at the focus of any functionality or any design that we did. Just moving on very quickly, I'm just conscious of time. And then again, when we re-platformed, what we said was that we're going to use the same mantra as I mentioned before. Again, all mobile pages, whether they're desktop, tablets, or smart or featurettes, they are all essentially built out of components. And all of these websites share a number of these components, and we just need to work out how each of these components render and degrade functionality from touch devices, smart devices, and featurette phones. So we use the same sort of concept for desktop and for mobile. So now a user would go in and they don't need to worry about the technology side of things. They just create the page, they just preview how the page will look on desktop and mobile, and the rest will just work. Again, this has helped us launch a truly multi-channel website. So this is a recent page on investec.com. You can see desktop on the left, which is quite rich. You've got loads of screen space, a nice carousel with lots of descriptions. In the middle, you've got the touch device. Now, touch device I mentioned are high-end devices with good JavaScript functionality. So what you'll see, if I were to show you a component, you can see the image carousel on the touch. You can still navigate to it, but it's got a completely different style to it. And also on the smart, on the right-hand side, where there is no JavaScript support, we're just forced to just display one of the items. And this has really given us a really good multi-channel strategy. Going forward, what we are also telling all of our users is that you need to have a single repository of single source of repository where you need to store your content. And for us, this is our CQ CMS. And then once you have a master source for all of your content, you can then, it allows you to then target different types of devices in different environments, because the last thing you want is your content editors or your authors be able to manage multiple CMSs for different purposes, and then one particular footer link or something like that, or terms and conditions change, and you need to remember that actually you need to change 5 different systems because there are different, your clients use the different system for different purposes. So this allows us to keep the content very accurate and fresh, but actually allow the different technology stacks or different devices to render to the best capability of that particular channel. Now, taking it further, you can say that actually you can render the same content onto different channels, but what we found was that actually you need to tailor not just the look and feel of it, but the actual content. You need to make sure that you deliver the right content. So for example, on mobile, you need to reduce the content, you need to get to your point very quickly. People aren't going to be there reading for hours and hours a long page. You need to promote the relevant things and provide the information that they need where they are in that particular channel. And what's great for using the CMS is that it allows us at an authoring level to target different channels. So for example, this screenshot is actually of our CMS, and what you can see is that we give our authors capability to select a piece of region of text or image or anything like that, and they can select where this particular text or this particular component renders, and they just tick and untick the different channels. So what we have at the moment is desktop, touch, smart, and featurettes. And using this sort of flexibility, if you really wanted to, you can create dedicated mobile sites or just dedicated mobile sites for just smart channel only. It just means that you need to consider your authoring experience a little bit more. What we are finding is that we keep needing to educate our content editors to say, once you've done your content, do preview it in the other mobile channels and then tweak the content as well. Just don't, most of the JavaScript or the functionality side will be taken care of for you, but that's only half the step. You need to actually deliver relevant content in those channels. And what I would like to finish off by is coming back to the slides about users blame the brand rather than technology when their multi-channel experience is not really met. And what we've been able to achieve with this is that when we launched our interim website, our mobile traffic quadrupled even, and then when we launched a fully fledged multi-channel CMS capability, i.e. all of our content now renders on all different multi-channels, that is I wouldn't say it's exponential, but I would say it's doubled sort of the interactions that our users are doing on our website. The key challenge for us now going forward is to actually analyze what those users are doing on those pages using analytics and actually tailor the needs to each particular channel in terms of what our KPIs are. So just to round up, we've come through a very a lightweight journey initially in terms of what online meant for Investec, and now really the multi-channel experience is really at the heart of our strategy, and more people are getting involved internally, even more so that we are now starting to develop dedicated mobile or multi-channel teams to really focus our efforts. With that's the end of my presentation, so I'll hand over back to Simon.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Fahim, for that great insight into the Investec journey. We've got a few minutes for questions. Some of you have sent questions in using the Q&A box. If you've still got some more questions, please submit them. We'll do our best to get to them on now, or we'll follow up after the webinar. The first couple of questions for you, Fahim. First one, kind of quite a broad one, but if you could maybe kind of answer this in a couple of minutes. It's around some key lessons learned from the replatforming project.
Okay, yeah, no, it's a good question. What I would say is if you were to replatform project, especially in a multi-channel environment, you really need your organization to allow you to create an environment where you have the ability to make mistakes, have the ability to experiment and really be agile. If you're thinking about getting a multi-channel global strategy right the first time with a big bang approach, it's just near impossible. What you need to do is take small steps, experiment, make mistakes, agile your way through, and tweak your journey as your customers give you feedback. That what I would say is the biggest learning that I could maybe give back to somebody doing this sort of thing before. The other thing that we've learned during our process building our platform is try initially build your platform as flexible as possible, because this it's very cost effective to restrict functionality later then add functionality. So what our mantra was with all the components and all of our layouts is that we gave all of our authors the ultimate flexibility in terms of what they wanted to do in terms of page layout, different channel targeting, and everything like that. And now what we're finding is that there are certain user behaviors, and we're finding how our end users are using our website. So now we are starting to restrict some of the capabilities of the platform to enhance those user journeys even more and meet those KPIs. So build things more flexibly is my top recommendation as well.
Excellent, thank you very much. There was a question that came in regarding whether we can impose a house style, and I'll just quickly answer that because it's a simple answer. The answer being absolutely. You can define your own styles based on the company's brand guidelines, so hopefully that addressed that point. Another question for you, Fahim, around the user experience on tablets. Do you provide a kind of unique experience for tablet users like you do for the kind of smartphone?
At the moment, when we were going through this journey, because internally we hadn't even considered mobile as a channel, so selling mobile was a challenge in itself, and to push it to tablet, I think we were just asking for trouble. So what we found was that in the tablet space, we basically treat tablets as desktop, and that suits our purposes. I think it would be very different for different organizations. I think you need to do research and look at your analytics to see if there are lots of people coming in using tablets of various shapes and sizes, and see if there's a need for you to actually give a different channel experience for the tablet. For us, we took a view, and our research showed that actually tablet users or iPads and so forth, is they do want the full functionality of a desktop website. So we chose to render our full website on tablets. What we did do though was that we used very HTML5 web standards to make sure that all the functionality does render well. And what we are finding now, say 6 months down the line, is that there are some aspects of the tablet functionality that we could increase. So rather than treat tablets as a completely different channel with its own unique content and so forth, is we may provide a very an extra layer of user experience. So for example, in tablets what we've found is that we need to maybe give more space around the links and the navigation area so that they're quite easy to navigate. But at the moment we treat tablets as desktop, but it could be very different to any other organization. But you just need to look at your stats and do some research around it.
Fantastic, thank you very much for that. Fahim, you, I like the way you kind of presented the kind of journey from looking at it as a web content management solution to more about a digital marketing platform. Mm-hmm. You also spoke a couple of times about how the new kind of infrastructure, the platform, has really put the power in the hands of the marketeer. Could you kind of maybe talk a little bit about how that's been received by IT? Have IT kind of been part of the process, been supportive of this? The fact that they're kind of losing control, which obviously no one necessarily likes to do, but how have IT kind of been the kind of partner in this process?
Very good question. Again, I think you're asking because obviously from experience, the marketing and IT have always been historically at war. I think what we're finding here internally is that the marketing guys and IT guys, they just need to work together, and it just needs to be one team. They shouldn't even be labeled as IT or marketeers. There has to be a user-focused need that they need to work towards. We've been very fortunate at Investec that the sole responsibility of the website, even at a technical level, it sits within marketing. So our marketing needs have always pushed what we need from a technological perspective. What we are finding though from a digital marketing perspective is that we are now launching websites left, right, center every couple of weeks, and the platform is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think now as marketeers, we're admitting, saying, okay guys, we've built this really cool marketing platform, but it's actually getting quite big, and we need maybe some sort of process to help us manage. So now I think we're engaging more with IT to say, in order for us to consistently grow this, and I mentioned before, even down at a component level, when we build things, we need to not build things for just a particular website, but we need to build it for the benefit of the platform. So now the IT environment have always been traditionally very good at process and making sure things are secure and things are thought of through. So that we are finding that we're working together more, and we will be going forward. But as a marketeers, our need is always to say, you know what, technology should not be a barrier. If we need to launch a website or make a change very quickly in order to react to marketing needs and user needs, that IT needs to support us in that. And I think that sort of mentality is happening here at Investec, and I think it will help us marketeers as well, because we're building all these websites. We do need some sort of governance around it, security implications, etc. So I would say things are coming together nicely.
Excellent, thank you very much. Fahim, we have actually reached the end of the session. We haven't got to a couple of questions. One of them is regarding templates and layouts. We will reach out to you separately and answer those questions. I apologise for not being able to get to them. We did have a lot of questions that came in. I'd like to thank both Mani and Fahim for their presentations today, providing those insights into the challenges and benefits of delivering a consistent and optimal online experience across multiple channels. Hopefully you can see our contact details on the screen. Please feel free to reach out to any of us via email. You've also got my Twitter address there if you prefer that channel. That leads me to kind of wrap up and thank you all for attending today's webinar. The next webinar in this webinar series is planned to take place on Wednesday the 11th of July, with the topic being marketing attribution, how to make your marketing more effective. So thank you once again. Look forward to seeing you again soon, and thanks to our speakers. Bye-bye.